Hey guys, welcome to another Video Games Lonesome as I play through Heartstone and nourish my obsession with a new tradable card game, one that's actually starting to replace Magic as my favorite. And I think that's just because it kind of appeals to the nature of a player that I've grown into, and that is an impatient one whose time is more valuable than it used to be, I think. You know, as you get into adulthood as opposed to, you know, teenhood. Not that adults have, oh man, I'm gonna piss people off. Basically, I like the fact that the games are fast and that I feel as though at any point I could drop out and go somewhere else and do something else without having to commit to like hours and hours of gameplay, which you do with Magic, because once you've entered into a tournament, you have to commit to like up to 3 to 4 hours and you can't drop out. In addition to that, they really seem to cater to draft format, which I love. I love the arena in this so far. Alright, so unfortunately I haven't been doing amazingly at arena, which means that it's time for me to buy some gold. Or wait, I'm gonna have to pay for my entry into the next tournament. So, headed into arena. My first purchase. Paying now. I gotta enter my password every time. That's kind of annoying, but I guess it makes sense. Actually, it doesn't make a lot of sense because, I mean, you don't have to put your password in every time you're about to make a purchase on Steam, and if Battle.net isn't like Steam, what is it like? Purchase complete. I like that they allowed it to be hooked up to PayPal. All right, who do I want? Do I want to be a mage, a hunter, or a warrior? I'm pretty comfortable with mage. I've played a lot of mage, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go with mage.
You asked for it.
What do we got here? Alarmobot. At start of turn, swap this minion with a random one in your hand. So it's a zero. Okay, so here's my question right off the bat. A swap. Does that mean that the minion that's swapped out of my hand and onto the battlefield will have summoning sickness, or does it get to hit the battlefield without it? Next, battle cry. The next secret you play this turn costs 0. Or, at the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to this minion and summon a 1/1 imp. So this is a character that turns into imps slowly. So, not knowing how valuable traps are or how many traps I'm going to draft out of this, I feel like I'm going to start with Alarmobot and just see how good it is. It seems like a fun card. Somebody said, I'm guessing Summoning Sickness. Doesn't mention it's giving them charge, so I presume Summoning Sickness. Summoning Sickness, by the way, is a magic term. It seems to me that somebody in Shadow Chat said that Battle Cry is lost off of whatever creature comes out as well. I think swap is different from summon or cast, so that's the purpose. I think that maybe it comes out without Summoning Sickness because it's a swap. However, it loses Battle Cry. A 4/3 body for 3 seems like the least risky out of the 3 choices I have here. And who knows, I think that I've seen a lot of traps used by previous mages that I've got up against, so that might end up being really handy for me. I love the Mad Bomber, even though it's random damage. The Mad Bomber is like a free 3/2 body for 1 more mana over top of Arcane Missiles, so it seems like a no-brainer to go with this. Frost Nova is sweet, but bodies plus damage, going for it. 2-drop is just really nice. Has charge when you have a weapon equipped. It's a 2/1 with charge conditionally. Not amazing. 1 damage to all minions, or this guy, who combined with the mage is incredible because of her pinging ability. Probably see a lot more of these opened up along the way, but I'll probably see a lot more of these opened up along the way as well. So I'm going to go with the Berserker for now, just in case I don't see another one. Here we go. Spellbender. Secret. When an enemy casts a spell on a minion, summon a 1/3 as the new target. And it's a secret. Oh, this is my first secret card that I've seen. That's interesting because not only will it, if he sends out a buff spell, it's going to hit my 1/3 minion. And if he sends out a spell to hurt one of my really good creatures, it's just going to hit this 1/3 minion. So it's like a counterspell, potentially more than a counterspell, better in a way. Counterspell on damage, and a 2-for-1 on buffs. Pyroblast deals 10 damage to the face, is quite a game ender, and not to be expected by most opponents. They're going to expect things like fireballs, not pyroblasts, so if they're calculating the final turns, they're not going to be banking on a pyroblast. Battle Cry, choose a minion and become a copy of it. For 5. Pyroblast feels like in something like Limited to be the most powerful here. Faceless Manipulator to me seems like more like a constructed card. Especially so early in the draft, I don't know what kind of creatures I'm going to draft, whether it's going to be good for me, and it's very conditional when going up against an opponent. I'm going with Pyroblast just because it's the no-brainer. I haven't seen enough play with these yet to really know. Yeah, I'm going with Pyroblast. It's the no-brainer. It's a game finisher. Also, having the Pyroblast on like turn 5 gives me a specific idea of where I'm going with the match. I know that I can go on full aggro. To draw that early, you'd think that it would be really annoying to get it out early. Like, you're like, oh shit, I can't use this for 5 turns. However, knowing that it's coming is a pretty big deal, I think. Knowing that I'm going to get to use it in 10 turns. In 5 turns. The Creeper is quite nice. The Divine Shield is also quite nice. So is drawing a card on a 2/1 body. However, it's 2 casting cost. He's pretty outclassed on the second turn. This guy, Taunt, is just amazing in this game. I'm going for the Creeper. Love this guy. He's so powerful for a 5-drop. However, this guy's very versatile. Mirror Image is 2 guys with Taunt. They're just chump blockers. This early on, while he is an awesome body for 5, this early on in the draft, I'm not wanting for 5-drops. In fact, I'm already kind of curving high. So I'm between these two. I prefer bodies that can swing instead of just chump blockers, so Plus he's versatile. He can 2-for-1 the board, which I always like. Restore 2 health. Even though it's nice that I can restore health to creatures, Water Elemental freeze any character damaged by this minion. That's fucking awesome. Taunting is awesome too, but 3/6 body, freezing any creature that it damages, that can be a game changer, I think. A game saver. Okay, Murlocs. I'm not confident enough in the set or the cards yet to go with a full-on Murloc deck. And that's really the only time where I feel like they become really effective. So unless I'm wanting for two drops, too early in the draft to get that desperate. I like charging characters, especially if I'm going to be playing kind of an all-out deck like this, going for damage to the face, but it's a 6-drop and very weak. The problem with a character that has charge that late in the game, in my opinion so far, is that there's very likely going to be something on the board at that point that has taunt or something to prevent you from smacking the face. This guy's not that great either, though. Chump blocker. This isn't a great pack, but the thing is, he's just a delay. Like, taunt characters that can actually take out more than a creature with 1 toughness are actually threatening. Like, this is a threatening taunt creature because you're forced to take 3 damage to your minions. I think the Rocketeer, even though I'm not in love with any of these, I don't like that the Rocketeer fills up a slot that high in the curve so early when I might get some other really high curving awesome creatures later. Fuck it. It's all because of the curve that I made that choice. Return, okay, a bounce. What kind of bounce do I want? That's nice to bounce. That's nice to bounce. That's nice to... I think a bouncing creature is probably good considering the amount of battle cry I already have. So, and it's a 4-drop, which I don't mind filling that slot right now. However, a 6/5 taunt... Oh, that's a tough choice. 6/5 taunt is beautiful. Yeah. Here we go. Pyroblast again. Oh, this is easy. I don't want to do either of these guys. Doomsayer, I've learned my lesson on. He is very squishy. In a Magic the Gathering situation, Doomsayer would be very, very nice. The fact that creatures can attack creatures in Hearthstone means that I overvalued him earlier, not taking that into consideration. Pyroblast. Double Pyroblast in this deck, meaning that from now on, I need to go aggressive on the low end of the curve from this moment forward. A 2/2 taunt. Or the 1 damage dealing battle cry. I'm gonna go with the taunt. Scarlet Crusader or the 5-drop taunt. I don't need more 5-drops. Ah, it's fucking taunt though. If I got him right now, this would be the last creature that I take over 5. This would be one of the last cards I take over 5. Because at this point, my strategy is stalling the board. Actually, because of that, my strategy being stalling the board so I can get Pyroblast in my hand. think that this guy makes sense. This will bolster my one drop or my low drops that I'm about to start drafting finally, if I commit myself to that. This guy is powerful with a mage that has the ability to ping. Gang attack equal to the attack of your weapon. I haven't drafted a weapon yet, not worth it. I think I'm gonna go with the 2-drop. A fireball, yep, that bolsters my whole, and this can also deal damage to creatures. That's some nice removal, and I'm kind of wanting for that, so. Yeti, okay. Easy, that was an easy choice. I love this guy, the dragon. Easy choice. Lord of the Arena, 6/5 taunt. Don't need him. Too high on the curve at this point. But I don't love this guy. Or this guy. Fuck it. Here we go. Nice 3-drop. Counterspell, when your opponent casts a spell, counter it. I like that. Battle Cry, give adjacent minions taunt. I like that quite a bit. Azure Drake. Spell damage +1. Battle Cry, draw a card. That's, I kinda, oh man, that's tough. It's down to Counterspell and Azure Drake. Do you think it's easy choice? Counterspell, really? The only thing that makes me second guess the Drake at this point is how high my curve is, but I've also, my confidence in my ability to judge the curve in Hearthstone has been shaken since my last three drafts. I have to reevaluate the way I see games play out in Hearthstone as opposed to Magic. Spells cost 1 less. That's a nice creature to have. However, I'm lacking in removal. However, this is a 3/2 body. Another fairy dragon helps my curve a lot. Decent body to swing with. I'm also, I think, overvaluing removal. Because, once again, creatures can attack creatures. In a Magic setting, removal is just way more valuable than it is in this, and I think I've been overvaluing removal quite a bit. A 2/1 body that deals 2 on its way out, or a pinger. Considering I have ping built into my mage, I think I'd rather the guy that can swing for more damage. Polymorph is beautiful in a mage deck. Helps me take out anything, basically. However, Wind Fury is also beautiful. Can you guys help me on this one? It's between these two. Is Wind Fury weak to you? I guess Wind Fury on a guy who only swings for 2 isn't nearly as good as Wind Fury on a guy that swings for 3. I'm gonna go with the Polymorph. Your weapon has +2 attack, summon a 1/1 boar, really helps the curve. However, whenever a minion, not just your minions, but any minion dies, it's too nice. Yeah. Arcane Missiles, or that's easy. Taunt and Enrage on that guy as a 3-drop. I need him. Another water elemental. Beautiful. Yeah. Looks nice in the curve, too. Another 3-drop, maybe? Oh, Frostbolt. Deal 3 damage to a creature and freeze it. I think this makes sense for me. And what do we got here? Stampede and Kodo. A 3/5 beast. Or, after you summon a minion, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. That's nice. Or, charge 4/2. Give your opponent a mana crystal. 3-drop. 4/2 charge. It's between, for me, because of my curve, I'm not even considering the Stampede and Kodo. He's a 3/2 body for 2, which is also really nice. With no drawback. Alright. I think I'm ready to play after the break. Going in with my first time as mage in the arena. Stay tuned, everybody.